That's why you get that ring. And that's getting back into it. I think it'll be okay.
I feel like it's one of those things like when it's nothing.
Yeah.
It's you hear it, but then when people are talking,
No, okay, thank you. Yeah, there's also more people in here.
Yeah, I mean, we're going out.
It'll be. White nut.
Mine's like dying. I'm loving it. Like, I was doing fine earlier, and then all of a sudden,
Yeah.
Out of an abundance of caution, I'm doing in case she does the same thing.
Good, go ahead to switch to wireless.
On the menu. So they got to get a menu.
no, I don't. I'm just volunteering. Oh, yeah.
We'll see.
Are you like a correspondent? I'm a reporter. Okay. I work at I feel like I typically don't see you guys right now. You're on camera.
I know, no, I'm a reporter, not like on air or nothing.
Oh, okay.
I could never do that.
We were out of a lot of people think anyway, but now the verdict, there's nobody else to go. No, but it's like a Monday today. Nobody's in here.
Yeah.
People are calling me. How do we get to read it? Go to the That's what I do. Cherry pick.
It is outside, but also
God, if we brought it up
yeah, no, I grew up in California. My brother lives in Arizona, so I spent a long time in Arizona. It's not very hot. It's hot.
apparently there's a lot more precautions than that.
Hey, man,
No problem. I know. It's recording. Maybe you should put that
back. It looks good for the back. So don't do that. I'll use it this side. Use it for your next day. Her hair looks good. Vote for her.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the third cycle of our E-PAC Rising Stars. I really appreciate so many of you for being here today. I want to take you back to where E-PAC started. In 2019, only 13 Republican women served in the House of Representatives. And as of December 2023, as of today, there are now a historic 36 Republican women serving in Congress. So in just 2 cycles, we continue to make history, and I'm so excited to announce the slate of our 2024 endorsements. I want to first recognize some of our other members of Congress who are here today, who have supported so many of their colleagues over the years and have made this possible. Some of these members were E-PAC endorsees a few cycles ago and helped deliver this majority. We have Stephanie Bice from Oklahoma. Raise your hand, Stephanie. Welcome. We have Brian Babin from Texas. Thank you, Brian, for being here. Ken Calvert from California has been a longtime supporter of E-PAC. Ken, thank you for coming. We have Mike Turner, my chair on the House Intelligence Committee from Ohio. Mike, thank you. We have Aaron Bean from Florida. Thank you, Aaron, for coming and for always being a strong part of the team. Michelle Fishbach, who flipped a district and was an E-PAC endorsee. Thank you, Michelle. Virginia Fox, who has long been a supporter of other House Republican women, my chair on the Education Workforce Committee. Welcome, Virginia. We have August Pfluger from Texas, who is a vice chair of the NRCC. Thank you, August, for all that you do. Marionette Miller-Meeks from Iowa, another E-PAC endorsee that we're so proud of. We have Jim Moylan, our delegate from Guam. Thank you so much, Jim, for all of your support for these women candidates. And I wanted to introduce Tom Emmer, who's been a real partner and a friend in this initiative. He was chair of the NRCC as we made these significant inroads and as we built this path to the House Republican majority. So this has been a real partnership with E-PAC, and I wanted to invite him up to speak to the group today. Tom Emmer.
Well, let's be clear. We're here to thank you, Elise, not just to support these great candidates, but since E-PAC was started, and it's great to be included as a partner, but since Elise Stefanik started E-PAC, we have tripled the number of women that we have serving in the Republican Conference. More than triple. But we got more work to do, which is why we're here today, and this is what Elise is spearheading yet again. You've got some great candidates up here. We've got to get them the resources that they need so that they can be successful. We've got a couple that have already been successful, and they're going to be successful again in Yvette and Myra. And we've got the newcomers that I'm going to tell you, we got a chance to pick up seats that people never thought we'd have a chance to pick up because of the quality of people that have been recruited and that Elise is supporting. So let's do our part to get them the resources that they need to get them over the finish line so that we can not just hold our Republican majority in the House, but we can expand it. And thank you, Elise, for everything that you're doing to make sure that happens.
Thank you so much, Tom. I also want to thank partnered organizations and programs. And we all know in this room, Julie Conway from E-PAC. She has been a leader. I think back to when I first ran in 2014. She was the first organization to endorse us. We would not have been able to make this history if it were not for your support. Julie Conway from E-PAC, thank you for all you do for each of us to continue increasing the numbers. And we have representatives from Winning for Women. Thank you so much for all you do in terms of recruiting candidates, supporting them early in their primaries to help work as a team effort to build this House Republican majority. Since its founding, E-PAC has raised and donated over $10 million for Republican women candidates and shared hundreds of thousands of grassroots donors directly with their campaigns. In 2020, in fact, E-PAC helped more than double the number of Republican women in Congress in what President Trump called, quote, the year of the Republican woman. 11 out of the 15 seats that flipped red were won by E-PAC-endorsed Republican women. And in 2022, E-PAC-endorsed candidates flipped critical House Republican majority-making seats, such as Jen Kiggins in Virginia's 2nd, Lori Chavez-DeRemer in Oregon's 5th, Anna Paulina Luna in Florida 13, and Monica De La Cruz in Texas 15. And now in 2024, E-PAC candidates are once again the tip of the spear in our fight to protect and expand our House Republican majority. I want to mention two women candidates that are a part of this slate that were not able to be here today is Julie Fedorchik, who has her primary today in North Dakota. She earned E-PAC's endorsement, President Trump's endorsement, Governor Burgum's endorsement, and we wish her well for a victory tonight. So we're very excited about that. And we also, on this first slate, are featuring the Alaska Lieutenant Governor, Nancy Dahlstrom, who has a big local event today. And as you know, it's a long way from Alaska to fly here. Nancy's been at many events previously, and we're proud to support her in this first slate. I want to give the opportunity for each of the endorsed E-PAC candidates to introduce themselves, talk about their race today. I want to start off with Yvette Herrell from New Mexico's 2nd District. This is a former Congresswoman who has a strong record of representing New Mexico's largest congressional district in the U.S. House. She's known for her dedicated work on the Committee on Natural Resources and the Committee on Oversight and Reform. She is a tremendously hardworking candidate, a friend, a fighter for her constituents. So I am so honored to invite up Yvette.
First off, I'm just so grateful to be here, and to be endorsed by E-PAC means so much to us, not only for taking this seat back and expanding the House majority, but to the people of New Mexico that are ready to have a fighter in the Congress again. Right now, we don't have a Republican voice. So we have the #2 energy producing state in the nation. I represent 180 miles of border, and we can see the economy is so flat. What we need are fighters. We need people that are going to make changes, because now these are kitchen table issues all over the country. This is not just unique to New Mexico anymore. We have got to start putting God back in the conversation, stop relying so much on government, and ensure that we're making inroads across the party lines. And right now, people in New Mexico really aren't worried about what party you're registered with. They're worried about the policies and the people that are making the decisions that impact their kids, their businesses, their families, their futures, quite honestly. So I am so grateful to be a part of this team and to have been here before. Yes, I might be a little crazy to want to come back, but sometimes it's good to be a little crazy. I want to fight with all of your colleagues, because you're doing it for the right thing. It's for the United States of America. It's for the greatest country in the world, and it's for the future of this great nation. And I'm so thankful. I'm so thankful to have the support. I'm so thankful that we have an opportunity to flip the seat. We lost through redistricting this seat by 1,300 votes, not because of the redistricting, but because Republicans seemed a little complacent. This year, there's too much at stake, not with the presidential election and with all these amazing women and men that are running for office. We have the world in front of us, and it's time we all unite, come together, and start putting the American people first. So I am grateful. So just keep praying for our nation and for our races, and I can't wait to be here in November and get sworn in. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, I'm excited to introduce Myra Flores, another former Congresswoman. Myra made history as the first Mexican-born woman to be elected to the United States House of Representatives. She has worked so hard. She is from a Border Patrol family. She sees the Biden border crisis firsthand. This is one of our top opportunities to flip this seat. Myra, come on up.
Thank you so much. Well, I'm just honored to be here. Thank you, Chairwoman Stefanik, for believing in us, for endorsing our campaign. I am so proud to be doing what I'm doing, but I wouldn't be able to do it without your support. So I'm truly grateful. South Texas is home to me. It's very important. So I cannot give up. I am proud Mexican American who immigrated to this country legally, and I will always advocate for legal immigration. And we need that type of representation here in Congress that represents also our values, God family, and country. Unfortunately, right now, we don't have that representation to put the spotlight in South Texas. And right now, the American people are hungry for, prosperity. They're hungry for border security, for safety. And that's exactly what I want to bring for South Texas. South Texas is ready for new leadership coming this November. We want borders to be secure. We want prosperity. We want all more money in our pockets. And that's exactly what we will do coming this November. But I also want to send this message in Spanish to those who are listening. Mi comunidad hispana, quiero agradecerle a la congresista Stefanik por apoyar nuestra campaña y por creer en nuestra comunidad, creer en la mujer latina, que es algo muy importante, que también representa algo en Estados Unidos, y es importante que tengamos el apoyo de personas en el Partido Republicano que son importantes, como la congresista Stefanik, y la verdad que estoy muy agradecida con ella y con todos en el Partido Republicano por creer en nosotros en el Valle, porque yo no podría hacer lo que hago si no fuera por tanto apoyo, así que estoy eternamente agradecida. Thank you so much, Congresswoman, for believing in us and everyone else. This is truly the most important election of our lifetime. This is truly the most important race as well. So the only way that we're going to be able to take back Texas District 34 is with your support. So thank you again. Muchas gracias.
Thank you, Myra. And as you heard in her Spanish-speaking translation, the House Republican Conference is proud to also partner to increase our support among Hispanic voters across the country, which President Trump is making history day by day in terms of growing his support. We have the largest number of Hispanic-speaking members ever, and Myra is one of those. I'm excited to introduce Alison Esposito, who I know well. She is a former NYPD officer. She dedicated nearly 25 years serving in law enforcement, and previously she was the lieutenant governor with our former colleague Lee Zeldin on the gubernatorial ticket that brought New York closer than in modern times in terms of almost winning New York State. I saw her campaigning firsthand. She is great in terms of listening to voters. She has a pulse on the key issues. And when it comes on holding New York Democrats accountable for their soft on crime, pro-criminal policies, Alison Esposito is the best spokeswoman we have. Alison, come on up.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you for having me. Congressman, on your leadership and guidance have been, I can't thank you enough for all of the support that you've given and all of the confidence you put in me. It's just been wonderful. Congressman, I feel the same way. You have been a staunch supporter, and I can't thank you enough. Thank you to all the members that are here and that have shown amazing support to the ladies up here. And thank you to my colleagues who have decided to throw their hat into this ring and step into this arena. It is an incredibly difficult endeavor. Thank you to Winning for Women and E-PAC for all of your support. We could not be as successful as we're going to be without everyone in this room. I'm not a traditional politician. I am a cop. That is who I am. That is what I am, and that is what I always will be. And right now, we are in a battle for the heart and soul of our country. Crime, public safety, law and order, our children's education, a secure southern border, a secure northern border is national security. And I am running in a district just outside of New York City, the Hudson Valley area, against an individual, and Pat Ryan, who doesn't believe in border security. He's an individual that when he was the Ulster County executive, he made Ulster County a sanctuary county. He refused to cooperate with law enforcement and ICE. And while I was a New York City cop in the riots, cutting the pant legs off of cops because they were on fire from incendiary devices, or cops having to get out of vans because they were throwing Molotov cocktails in them, or I myself got hit with a kitchen cabinet off a roof thrown at me, and it was like Braveheart, charge and retreat, charge and retreat. We had an individual in Pat Ryan who was marching with BLM in the defund the police crowd. It's crime, public safety, law and order. It's our children's education. It's the economy and inflation. It's government's number one job is to protect their people and to get the heck out of their lives. And that is not what's happening right now. And that's why all of these fine candidates have stood up and stepped into this arena. Ladies and gentlemen, this is not a red wave. This is a common sense wave. This is a red, white, and blue wave. This is Republicans, independents, and Democrats alike standing up and saying enough. We are in a battle for the heart and soul of our country, and we are coming back for good, conservative American values, and we're going to stand up for what is right. So thank you so much for all of your support. Thank you all for being here. I appreciate all of the ladies stepping into this arena. We are going to do this in 2024.
Thank you. Moving to North Carolina's 1st District, we have Lori Buckout. She is a retired Army colonel and successful businesswoman. During her 26-year military career, she served in various leadership positions and later founded her own consulting business. And Lori won her primary, which we're very excited about, and onward to the general election to win this seat. This would be a pickup for Republicans. Lori.
First off, thanks to E-PAC, thanks to Congresswoman Stefanik, thank you so much for your leadership. Everyone here that I see so many friendly faces. I see E-PAC, I see Winning for Women, I see Susan B. Anthony, I see so many folks who are behind not just me, but some extraordinary candidates. We're going to be your freshman class, and we are all excited to serve with one another. A quick word about my district. It is the poorest one in North Carolina. It has been Democrat-led for 141 years, which tells you a lot about why it is the poorest one in North Carolina. This is our real chance to flip this thing. Right now, it's cook rated as a toss-up, maybe a hair towards Republican. Democrats are scared. My opponent, Don Davis, one of the nicest guys in Congress, is hiding every time Biden comes into the state. They have put $850,000 towards him just for the month of May in positive ads for him. So he's running hard. CLF has put $9 million into my race. It is 3 media markets. It is a bear. You've got Raleigh, you've got Norfolk, and then you have Rocky Mount, Greenville. Yeah, close enough. There's a lot going on out there. He's fighting hard, but honestly, he doesn't know how to fight. I will tell you, and I speak for the folks in my district, that they're sick of what's going on. They're sick of the open border. They are sick of the economy. I volunteered at a soup kitchen, I volunteered at a food pantry about 4 months ago, and I'm talking to folks who are desperately poor. For the first time in their lives, they have to rely on public assistance. And you talk to them and say, what's your biggest problem? They're terrified of the border. They have fentanyl all over the district. It is rising as a cause of death among young North Carolinians. And as a mother and as a wife, I'm terrified for my family, and I'm terrified for all of yours and for the families in my district. But I'm a fighter. We're the fighters. We are the happy warriors. This is going to be a great election, as my good friend said and my fellow warrior said. This is going to be a red, white, and blue wave. We're ready to take it. It's going to take a lot of ammunition. So everyone has given. They've been extraordinary, but it's going to take a whole lot of ammunition to win this fight. I thank you all so much. Congresswoman Stefanik, thank you so much again, and we're excited to be happy warriors and win this. Thank you.
Moving to the West Coast, in Oregon's 4th District, Monique Despain. Monique served our country in the Air Force for 30 years. She retired as a colonel. And watch Oregon. Lori Chavez Dreamer last cycle, we were proud to be one of the first to endorse Lori, and she flipped that district. The dynamics are shifting in our direction in that state, and Monique will be a pickup for us in Oregon's 4th District. Monique, come on up.
What an honor to be here. Thank you for including me in this event and for endorsing me. Thank you, Congressman Emmers, Julie with E-PAC and Winning for Women. And thank you for your remarkable work elevating women with merit and who love this country and elevating us into the political process. My name is Monique Despain. I'm from Oregon's 4th Congressional District. I'm running against corrupt incumbent Val Hoyle. I entered this race because I'm not one to shy away from a worthy fight. I served for 30 years, most of it as a JAG. I am a single mother who raised twins in Eugene, right in the 4th District. And I am a lawyer who has advocated for victims' rights, business owners' rights, and I've been advocating for public policy that's good for Oregonians. We struggle in Oregon with the same problems that have been mentioned today, but Oregon is number 1 for fentanyl deaths, number 1 for homelessness, and all of these go unaddressed by our current Congresswoman, who is under investigation for a pay-to-play scheme with a marijuana company, and she is has the lowest money on hand of any vulnerable Democrat. So we have this amazing opportunity. It doesn't seem like the toughest fight, actually, but it is the most important fight for our country. And in Oregon, people just are not feeling heard. My district is the whole southwest corner, almost the entire coastline from the California border up to the top of Lincoln County. And they just haven't felt heard under 50 years of Democrat reign. So we're going to turn that around and bring relief to Oregonians in the realm of public safety. People in Oregon, their number one concern is also the border and the economy, and they're struggling financially. So I'm very honored and privileged to be part of this team that's going to take it on. I look forward to working with these ladies to get our country back on track. Thank you.
And moving to Alabama's 2nd District, Caroleene Dobson. Caroleene is a mom, wife, attorney, and advocate for conservative values. She comes from a small business family background. She has a background in real estate law and is committed to preserving traditional values. Caroleene is also a fellow Harvard grad, but that's not the achievement. The achievement is being a Harvard grad and staying a conservative. That's the real achievement. So Caroleene, come on up.
Thank you so much for the incredible example you are to all of us, but especially to me as a conservative leader, as a Harvard Republican, as a mom. I'm so grateful for this opportunity. As Elise mentioned, I grew up on a farm in rural Monroe County in the district. And growing up on a farm, you learn firsthand the principles of self-reliance and stewardship. Self-reliance in that when you see something that needs change, you don't wait for someone else. You take action. And stewardship, the idea that with the privilege of enjoying our resources comes an obligation, a responsibility to cultivate those resources, make them fruitful, and leave them better than we found them for the next generation. Unfortunately, the far left ideology of the Biden administration and the Democrats is totally devoid of the concept of stewardship. So, because I grew up with a sense of self-reliance, even though I had never been in politics before, I signed up to run in the newly redrawn Alabama 2nd Congressional District in November. Now the Democrats were quick to jump and create the narrative that this seat was a blue seat, unequivocally was going to be run by a Democrat. But the March 5th primary results showed differently. The difference between the total number of Democrats and the total number of Republicans who showed up to vote on March 5th was 161 votes. When I got in this race on November 1, I was totally unknown. I came from a town of less than 200. I had not gone to college in state, and yet I was able to secure a spot in the runoff and then ultimately come from 12 points behind in the runoff to beat my opponent, who outspent me by $500,000 by almost 17 points. And in a late independent poll done by a news agency in Alabama, I was actually leading the Democrat opponent by 3 points. I say this not in a self-congratulatory manner, but to let you know that there is no one who is going to work harder and with more humility to ensure that we keep this seat red. We have a message that resonates with rural voters, urban voters, Republicans, and Democrats, because they feel betrayed by how the Biden administration has squandered the resources, the opportunities, the safety and security of our country. You know, I mentioned that I was from Monroe County, and you may not realize it, but you all know of another woman from Monroe County. Her name was Harper Lee, and she wrote To Kill a Mockingbird. And in that novel, Atticus Finch describes courage as follows. It's when you know you might be licked when you begin, but you see it through anyway. You rarely win, but sometimes you do. These women have that courage to see it through. And come November, in Alabama's 2nd Congressional District, in these districts, you are going to witness rare wins. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you so much. Let's give these women another round of a hand. I'm going to run through their names. We have Yvette Herrell, Myra Flores, Alison Esposito, Buckout, Monique Despain, and Caroleene Dobson. These will all be members of the next Congress and help us to build this House Republican majority. We are happy to take any questions from the media. If you have a particular member or candidate you want to ask them to, please feel free to say that at the front. Yes, ma'am, in fact.
Representative Stefanik, what's your reaction to Hunter Biden being found guilty on all charges related to his federal gun case?
Well, first, let's remember this was Joe Biden's corrupt DOJ that tried to negotiate a sweetheart plea deal with outside immunity unrelated to this case. And it was the judge who stepped in to expose that. Today is the first step in delivering accountability for the Biden crime family. We must and we will continue as House Republicans to investigate the Biden crime family for the corrupt influence peddling schemes that generated over $18 million in foreign payments to the Biden crime family members. So this is one step, but again, it goes back to the corruption of Joe Biden's DOJ that they tried to negotiate a sweetheart plea deal. Were it not for that judge who paid very close attention and exposed that, we would not have this verdict today. Next question. Yes, ma'am. As I've always said, I'm not going to get into the details of the process. I'm honored that my name is in the mix, and I've said for quite some time I'd be honored to serve in a Trump administration in any capacity. Yes.
How does the GOP go about recruiting women to Congress while not funding their politics game that the right has used election planning? Second is the abortion issue has been an obstacle for the GOP. How should Republican women deal with the issue?
Sure. So on the question regarding how we recruit women candidates, what I was very proud of is if you look at previous cycles, when we flipped districts, it's not just women candidates, it's veterans candidates, it's minority candidates. That helped build this majority. And that was a strong partnership with the NRCC. What makes E-PAC different is we don't just endorse candidates because they're women. We endorse the best candidates in these races who are women leaders. So they have shown strong fundraising. They have shown a path to victory in the primary and general election. And there's a lot of candidates I meet with who I choose not to endorse. That's why we highlight our rising stars and really make sure our investment goes a long way to make sure we have the best quality candidates who are women leaders. And that model has worked. If you look at the numbers from 13 to 36 in 2 cycles, when so many members of the media said it was not possible, we're going to continue to make history with these amazing women right here. On the issue of life, we are proudly a pro-life conference. I am proudly a pro-life woman. I have exceptions, rape, incest, and life of the mother. And we stand by our position in terms of standing up for the culture of life versus Democrats who have the radical abortion on demand in late term up until and after the moment of birth paid for by the taxpayer. And Democrats today stand for repealing of the Hyde Amendment. That is not where the majority of the American people are on this issue. Mr. Foldy.
For the 3 ladies on your left who ran in the past successfully and almost successfully, what lessons did you learn on the trail in 2022 that you're bringing back in 2024 to carry the next one?
Well, I learned for me in New Mexico 2nd, I learned that you can't take any votes for granted. And it really is going to be everybody's vote that matters. And I think my colleague said it best. It's a red, white, and blue movement. It's for the entire country. And I believe now with having the time, now I have a little more extra time on my hands. So meeting with the different voters. And again, it's not just the party affiliation. It's the policies and the people and the discussions that need to take place that are missing. So that is something that we're working very hard on. And I'm grateful that the people of New Mexico believe in me just as Elise does and just as many people in this room. So thank you.
Thank you for your question. I honestly feel that we are putting in, twice as much work as we did in 2022. But what I've learned is that we need a message that resonates with the American people, not necessarily a message that resonates with our base. I think it's time that we have a American wave, not necessarily, a political party wave, because of the current situation that our country's in. I really don't think it's about Republican versus Democrat. It really is about right versus wrong. It's about evil versus good. And that's what this election is going to be about. This is truly the most important election of our lifetime. So I think it's important that the American people put our differences aside and do what's right and put the American people first. Thank you for your question.
Thank you for the question. I learned that people are thirsty for a change. I learned that New York State is not a blue state; it's a red state with blue dots. I learned that we as Republicans sometimes in blue states feel like our vote doesn't count. But we have to remember as Americans, it's not a right to vote. It's a responsibility to vote. It's an obligation to vote. I have learned that people are thirsty for a change. 62 counties, upstate, downstate, in cities, out of cities. It didn't matter what gender you were, what color your skin was, or what God you prayed to. Everyone was looking into my eyes, holding my hands and saying, please, if you don't win, we have to leave New York. Please, we are supposed to be deciding what's best for our children and their education. Please, I cannot afford to harvest the crops that I've planted because of overregulations and energy, the attack on energy that the Biden administration and the Hochul administration is putting forth. I learned that people are thirsty for a change. And I learned that we as women, we as conservatives, we as Republicans understand that we're actually the Big Ten party. Democrats are only the party of diversity if everyone looks different but thinks exactly the same way. The Republicans, look at the slate behind me. Look at what we're putting forth. These are people that are standing up and saying enough is enough. We are putting the needs of our American citizens first, and it's time we fight for our country. And that's what I learned in last election. And I learned that when you make a commitment to the people of the state of New York, you keep it. And just because Lee and I came up just short didn't change my commitment to the people of New York. I had to figure out how to serve. I grew up and live in Orange County. The Hudson Valley is my home, and I know the needs of the people in Orange County, and I'm willing to fight for them. So thank you very much for the question.
And I want to give all three an opportunity. So I'm going to ask the other three, what are the top issues you're hearing in your campaign as you're talking to voters?
Thank you, ma'am. As I spoke earlier, I have been through some of the poorest areas of the poorest district in North Carolina. And it's been poor for many, many years. I've been riding down roads and I've seen a trailer that looks like it's ready to be hauled away and be demolished. And then I see a little face peeking out one of the windows with no glass in it. And I see that a family lives there. And this is not a one-time occurrence. You travel down these roads and it's clear that no one has cared about these people for a very, very long time. And yet, as poor as this economy has made them and how many of them have had to go on public assistance for the first time in their lives, they still care about security. They care about safety. They care about drugs. They're very concerned about being able to raise a family in America. My sons are both of college age. And what is so sad and depressing is to hear them talk to their peers. You have young people in their 20s who have said, I will never have children. I don't think I could raise a family in this world because the Democrats have brought about such an air of depression and oppression and sadness and grayness. I served in the Cold War and I served in Iraq. And both times when I saw the totalitarianism that the Democrats want to bring on us today, I see sadness. I see a lack of hope. I see a gray life. And I see people having so many problems they can barely prioritize them anymore. We are the party of hope. If you talk to them and say, we can bring you jobs, we can bring you help, we can close the border so you can live a life without crime, without drugs killing your children. Mothers and fathers are terrified of that. We can help with that, and they understand that we're the party of hope. So the biggest lesson that I'm learning is that people really definitely do want to change, and we can do that. Thank you.
Well, my race in Oregon is simple. I'm a retired Air Force colonel, political outsider, running against a corrupt career politician. And people in Oregon, as I've been all across my district repeatedly, are sick and tired of career politicians who are self-serving toward themselves or special interest groups. And my opponent, Val Hoyle, is just the poster child for that. As I mentioned, she's under federal investigation. She has made an effort to bring the terrible policies of Oregon that many of you have heard about. Oregon's kind of a standout for all the human and societal experiments that fail. And she's trying to bring those to Washington, D.C. And people know that and they object to that. So I offer a stark contrast to what a career politician offers. And the issues of my district are just as you have all described. The open border is a national security five-alarm fire that needs to be addressed, while my opponent is on record for saying we actually need that open border. She says she has to educate her conservative constituents like me to explain why we need an open southern border. And people just don't agree. These are nonpartisan issues. public safety, which in our community is fueled by that open border, the fentanyl, record highs, fentanyl deaths, the homelessness and the property crime and personal bodily crimes is up and through the roof, all while our law enforcement are not being funded. Oregon's a sanctuary state. And things are changing. Our most liberal DA in Portland was just fired, so his opponent beat him in the primary. And these are the reasons we're going to win on human issues that resonate with Republicans, Democrats, independents alike, public safety, prosperous economy, access to the abundant natural resources we have in Oregon, and then holding our government accountable. That's why we're going to win this district.
The reason I got in the race is because I'm fighting for Alabama families. I'm fighting for a safer world for our families and for more opportunities. And that's what I hear most often on the trail. I encounter parents that are debating on whether they fill their kids' stomachs or they fill their gas tanks. Bidenomics is a three-headed monster that has been killing economic opportunity, not just in Alabama District 2, but throughout the country. Through overregulation, through the Biden administration's unabashed and unprecedented support of labor unions, and of course, through its energy policy that not only stymies the growth of American energy, but also actively funds bad actors throughout the world, our economy is suffering, and our children are daily having fewer and fewer opportunities. Alabama's District 2 has incredible natural resources, has some of the most hardworking and God-fearing people that there are, and we need to fight back. We need to get President Trump back in the White House. We've got to gain control of the Senate, but it's also so important that we not only maintain control of the House, but also increase our majority so that we can fully unravel all the harm that the Biden administration has caused our country. And so that is our goal. That's all of our goals. And I hope that you will support us in our efforts this fall.
Great job. Thank you, everyone. Just a few additional shout outs. Mary Miller, thank you so much for being here. Another E-PAC recipient last cycle. And Mike Herodopoulos, who is a candidate for Congress, but he's already supporting so many of our other candidates across the country, running in a Florida district who I've endorsed, Tom has endorsed, President Trump has endorsed as well. So very excited. Thank you for coming, Mike. Thank you all for coming. Thank you for your generous support for these amazing candidates. And thank you to these candidates for raising their hand and stepping into the arena. It is not easy, but this country is worth it. Our districts are worth it. And I want to thank you so much for you and your family's hard work.
You're done.
I'm gonna stay right here. Are you done? Your personnel here.
We don't have anywhere from my staff.
Avon is the last one.
Yes.
In the original order. Avon.
There's no more sheriff back there, right?
One more. Avon.
My staff doesn't even have any work stuff.
It's Myra.
What? That's perfectly fine.
Yeah,
We're all in the same group, you know?
for sure.
Oh, yeah, take your watches off, those if you have those.
Just a wonderful. Thank you.
Folks, I'm not with the U.S. Attorney's Office, I'm just translating for the PIO for them. They're allowing additional people in, it means we're gonna be very cozy, so whatever space you need for your coworkers here, compatriots, just make space for them as they come in. So it's gonna be fun. They're all coming in. You're the last one, please. The first one. Yeah.
Move that back if you want. Throw it on the ground.
Take your bag.
Yeah, strong.
Is there any seats in the back available?
Okay, I'm gonna just stand in the front. Thank you, ma'am.
Can I write this ladder against the wall?
And here. Thank you.
Actually, send it to me.
Yeah.
Literally just copy and paste. Be here, please.
I was about to get up to pee right before you arrived. So the whole
So there's no joke.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's Hannah, sorry. Amazing Hannah.
Yeah, I guess they were saying that like 5 of them changed by this morning, then there was one which, but he never changed later. So, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. I see like the one that this morning was concerned that they didn't prove that the student proved that Hunter was smoking crack on the day he purchased the gun. That seemed to be right, that's exactly, yeah. But then when they were reviewing the evidence, he actually like, right.
Well, I think, Flores, I think the special counsel wants to, thank the jury and the staff, everyone involved in this case. As I said, this is a very tough case for everyone. It's a lot. This is code. Started 6 years ago. So it has a lot of questions. All the things that we were doing, it's easy, probably not. I Those are types of questions So this is always odds for all.
So just a quick request, guys, on the shot. Just a quick request. We're gonna get started here in a few minutes. But David Weiss is obviously the United States Attorney here in District of Delaware, but he's speaking in capacity as special counsel. So as much as that doesn't have to be in the shot, that'd be great. It's just a preference. It's obviously, we're up here and telling you what to do. But Justice Department symbol, this Justice Department symbol is fine. But
When I'm assuming since it's 1 o'clock, we can report this?
yes.
How far out are we?
Is that about 10 minutes?
10 minutes, yeah.
Now about 7 minutes.
7 minutes?
Yeah.
Is there a restroom nearby?
Yeah.
How many minutes is that?
Could you kindly just do a mic check?
Mic check, 1, 2, 3, we're here, I'm going
Thank you. Right, exactly. So, you know, so that's one of
Can you put it like right on the
Actually.
Check, check.
He, I remember, he did Myra Flores just last year, and the reason for that is because he said he wanted to make sure that the investigation that's clear. He knows.
Okay, this is a 2-minute warning. Oh, no, it's David. They'll be in the shot.
They'll be in the shot.
Tell them
Thank you, sir. And she's speaking.
No. Well, you don't have to.
Whose bag is this over here in the corner? All right, I'm gonna move it out of the way.
Is this pleasure? So, yeah, go ahead. Hi, Eric. Test. Everybody good?
I just want to do one more thing. Sorry.
Can somebody unplug it?
Good afternoon. My name is David Weiss. I'm special counsel. Earlier today, Hunter Biden was convicted of 2 counts of lying on a form submitted to a federal firearms dealer about his addiction or use of crack cocaine and possessing a firearm while a user or addict. There have been 2 overarching themes emphasized by the prosecution during trial: this defendant's illegal choices and the rule of law. First, while there has been much testimony about the defendant's abuse of drugs and alcohol, ultimately, this case was not just about addiction, a disease that haunts families across the United States, including Hunter Biden's family. This case was about the illegal choices defendant made while in the throes of addiction, his choice to lie on a government form when he bought a gun, and the choice to then possess that gun. It was these choices and the combination of guns and drugs that made his conduct dangerous. Second, no one in this country is above the law. Everyone must be accountable for their actions, even this defendant. However, Hunter Biden should be no more accountable than any other citizen convicted of this same conduct. The prosecution has been and will continue to be committed to this principle and to the principles of federal prosecution in carrying out its responsibilities. I want to thank the jury for their service. There are few civic responsibilities more important than jury service. 15 Delawareans came to court each day and performed their responsibilities in a professional and conscientious manner. We thank them. I want to thank Derek Hines, Leo Wise, and the entire special counsel team. I am so proud of this group of attorneys, agents, and litigation professionals. This is a difficult assignment. These folks have been working 7 days a week for the last couple months, litigating a variety of issues in district and appellate courts on 2 coasts. They have given their heart and soul to this work. They represent the best that public service has to offer. I am incredibly grateful. Finally, I want to thank Attorney General Garland for providing the support necessary to fulfill our mission, ensuring that we have the independence to appropriately pursue our investigations and prosecutions. As you know, we have additional trials and investigative work to be done, so I will not entertain questions at this time. Our work continues. Thank you for your consideration. Thanks.
We've heard from jurors. Mr. Weiss, would you entertain a plea deal in the California case? I'm a witness to Joe Biden being a criminal on Air Force One, Air Force Two. I need to be in your grand jury. You won't have me there.
Thank you.
For me.
You too, Nancy. Yeah.
All right, thanks so much.
Thank you. I heard your private
defendant. However, Hunter Biden should be no more accountable than any other citizen convicted of this same conduct. The prosecution has been and will continue to be committed to this principle and to the principles of federal prosecution in carrying out its responsibilities. I want to thank the jury for their service. There are few civic responsibilities more important than jury service. 15 Delawareans came to court each day and performed their responsibilities in a professional and conscientious manner. We thank them. I want to thank Derek Hines, Leo Wise, and the entire special counsel team. I am so proud of this group of attorneys, agents, and litigation professionals. This is a difficult assignment. These folks have been working 7 days a week for the last couple months, litigating a variety of issues in district and appellate courts on 2 coasts. They have given their heart and soul to this work. They represent the best that public service has to offer.